Hello, welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to be dusting off an oldie but a goodie that I've often had people ask about, and that is the ability to have your Amazon Echo assist you in reading different Bible passages, different Bible chapters, and from different Bible versions. So we're going to delve into that. Again, we're going to look at two particular skills that can help you with that, along with the Kindle store and Audible. But before we get into that in any sort of detail, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again. Welcome back to the Echo Tips podcast. For our new listeners, we'd like to welcome you. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, and you'll find out our episodes are little nuggetized episodes, 5 to 15 minutes long, where you learn new things about your Echo, and we sometimes revisit some of the oldies and kind of dust them off, especially when there's new features. Here in the near future, we'll be likely looking back at the December roundup from the A-Lady blog with brand new features on the Amazon Echo. If there's anything that jumps out at me, you'll probably be hearing that on the episodes to come. For our returning listeners, we'd like to welcome you back, and you might notice some things sound a little different on the podcast, and that is because we received support from we love the support of the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. And we got some new sound equipment here in my office in the studio, a brand new microphone and a mixer. It's going to make my life so much easier, and we're going to be able to hopefully hear the Echo crystal clear going forward as a result, and make my life a lot easier in editing that. So you get to peek a little behind the curtain there about how we make our podcast here. Okay, so I'm going to probably be demonstrating here these skills in just a moment. If you do have an Echo in hearing distance of me, you might want to shut its ears off. There's usually a button along the top that allows you to do that, usually a little microphone with a slash through it, and that'll shut your ears off. That way, when I'm doing the demonstrations and the tutorial here, I'm not going to be tripping up your Echo at home. So just give you a second to do that. Now, if you are listening on this device, then it probably shouldn't be a factor. Okay? All right, so going way back, one of the skills that I shared, and this is so much better than the days of having cassette tapes of the Bible and trying to flip around, and oh my goodness, it was just so much work. But now with the Echo, you can just do amazing things, and this is a free skill. It's called the Bible app skill. That's kind of an oxymoron. It's a little bit of a Turduncan naming convention there, because skills are apps on the Echo, basically. That's the nomenclature of apps on the Amazon Echo. So it's kind of like Bible app skill. It's kind of like doubling up its name. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool, and you'll find this exact same skill, although I think the way you invoke it is differently on the Google Assistant as well. Now, it has 5 different Bibles that are fully narrated with an actual professional readers in studio, which is super, super cool. And you can generally, I think in pretty much all of them, navigate by chapter and verse, which is super, super powerful. The ability to jump right into a particular verse and hear it. So let's just open this up real quick and get some features of this. Alexa, open the Bible app skill.
Handing off to YouVersion Bible by Life.Church. Welcome to YouVersion Bible.
Ta-da.
What would you like me to read?
What versions are available?
I have 5 versions with full audio narration: King James Version, English Standard Version, The Message, New International Version, and New Living Translation. What version would you like to use?
English Standard.
From now on, I'll read to you from the English Standard Version. What can I read for you?
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1.
Genesis 1, verse 1.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Ta-da! All right, so super cool feature there. I love how it just pops out that one single verse. Now, what I would typically do is say I'm doing something and I need to check something or want to hear it from a different translation. I would just usually give a very succinct command, something like this, in one string. I wouldn't just open the skill. I would say, Alexa, ask the Bible app to read Matthew chapter 5 and verse 5.
Handing off to you Version Bible by Life.Church. Matthew 5, verse 5.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Okay, so I just find that really quick and succinct. Now, obviously, you could say a chapter and not specify a verse, and it'll read the entire chapter, or you could say the Bible book, and it would just read the entire book. Now, if you went in there and you also asked for help, it would give you more information about different features the skill has, including one, I believe, which is some sort of Bible reading assistance program. Now, I think that might require you to set up a free account where it kind of like it tethers and keeps track of, where you left off in chapter 6 yesterday, and now you're picking up with chapter 7. So feel free to check that out to find out a little more about that. But this is one I use all the time. Okay, so now we're going to look at another one, and this contains the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures, and this is the jw.org skill. And you can invoke it the same way. You just say open jw.org, or you could say ask jw.org to read, Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. So either one of those ways. There is kind of a unique feature of these audio recordings. This Bible hasn't been completed in its updated form, a revised English revision from 2013. But all the main Bible books that have been, especially I think most of the New Testament, especially the Gospels, one of the cool things about it is it contains, it has different voices for different characters. Let me give you an example. Alexa, ask jw.org to read John chapter 17.
Playing the Bible starting at John chapter 17.
Chapter 17. Jesus spoke these things, and raising his eyes to heaven, he said, Father, the hour has come.
Alexa, stop. So it gives you kind of a neat insight into that, where you have different, so like Jesus will all be read by the same person, John, or different Bible characters will be read by different personages, and that kind of helps really, I think, with dialogue, and you hear back and forth conversations, and I think it's pretty cool. And of course, the narrator will read passages that we just saw there as well. There is one slight difference between this and the way the other one works. Let me demonstrate that. Alexa, ask jw.org to read Matthew chapter 5, verse 5.
Playing the Bible starting at Matthew chapter 5, verse 5.
Happy are the mild-tempered, since they will inherit the earth. Happy are those
Alexa,
hungering and thirsty.
Stop. Okay, so one of the unique features there is, even though you can do verse-by-verse navigation, especially in the new portions of the Bible that have been recorded, it just doesn't read the single verse. It continues to play the rest of that chapter. So just bear that in mind, but it's pretty cool. I love the different voices for different people and the different stories. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, so those are two core apps or skills, both free, amazing amount of content there, and the ability to interact back and forth and hear from different translations and versions. So I think it's pretty snazzy. Now, I will mention, too, that you, of course, can buy a Kindle book on the Amazon store and have the A-Lady read it back to you. So that would include Bibles that support that reading feature. I don't think there's an easy way. I think pretty much anything is included. But, yes, you could have that read back to you on your Echo. And then also, if you were to buy a Bible from Audible, which is another Amazon company, you could listen to that. For example, they have James Earl Jones reading the Bible. So that's something to be heard. But it's pretty snazzy if you do that. And by the way, just dipping back into an old goodie cheat that I mentioned way back when in an episode, often if you go in and buy the Kindle book And there is an associated Audible version of the book, which is the professional narrator reading the book. Sometimes there's a checkbox by the buy button that says, hey, get it for an extra $5, bucks or whatever. And that's usually a super cheap way to get both of those books. And they sometimes have whisper sync technology as well. So, for example, you could be reading the Bible on your Kindle tablet, and you're in chapter 5 of Matthew, and then you could, later your eyes get tired, you come back the next day, and you could walk back over to your Echo and say, hey, play my Audible book, my Bible, and it would know what chapter you had left off on, and would pick up in the professionally narrated version approximately where you had left off. So those are some kind of cool features if you find a Kindle book that is whisper sync support between that and the Audible version of the book. So anyway, just thought I'd mention some of those things. It's often a topic that comes up with students, and I still get phone calls here in the office, people asking about using those apps and skills. All right, so that'll bring this episode to a close. We appreciate your listening this week. And it's time to turn the ears back on your Amazon Echo. Start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. If you'd like to reach out to us, feel free to do so on Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. But until next time, start trying these apps, these skills, see what you think. And we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem. Ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.